Hey, how's it going? I'm excited. I'm just gonna talk to you straight from the heart about what I would do if I was in college right now. I'm 28, about to be 29. Almost, I haven't made Forbes 30 under 30 yet. I could pay someone and get on it next year though, so we'll see. But I've learned a lot over the last 10 years, just building startups, building companies, having that company fail, working for a company that got acquired, going the VC route, getting VC funded, building a team over the last 2 years. I've learned a lot. And how I approached college, I think was unique. I think there's some insights there. And I think right now is a very special time. If you are in school, if you want to be in startups, if you want to build, there's a ton of opportunity. And there's a million ways to go about it. Here's maybe what I would do. And it's kind of related to maybe my story. When I was in high school, I didn't try super hard in school. I was kind of disengaged. It wasn't like interesting, you know? And when I got into college, I tried extremely hard. I had the exact opposite trajectory of most people. Most people, you kind of like chill in high school and then you party in college. I partied in high school and just freaking hustled in college. I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, I didn't do anything. I completely was on it. You don't have to do that. I'm just saying what I did, and maybe that explains maybe some of my actions. In my head, I thought, okay, Mark Zuckerberg, I was in school a little bit, launched Facebook, dropped out, kind of, did his thing. I thought that was my path too. I actually believed that I wasn't going to finish school, that I was going to build a unicorn before graduating, which is just crazy. But when you don't have a huge sample size of people who are in startups and who build companies, you think that's kind of the thing, right? Like, if you only know startup founders through the news, you only know the most successful ones, you're probably not looking at, the bigger sample size. So, I got to school thinking that's what I was going to do. So the first thing is like setting realistic expectations of what do you actually want to achieve while your time at school. I'll give you a couple of good goals that are realistic of things that maybe you can shoot for. One thing for me was skill competency and work. I think just like putting in reps on projects. So, I think a lot of people haven't put in the reps of like whiteboarding an idea out, or even just drawing an app idea by hand. If you want to make apps, do you draw them by hand? Do you put in that sort of work? How many business ideas do you think of a day? Like what books are you reading that are related to entrepreneurship? There's a ton of low lift to low risk things you could do immediately and do every day. Every single morning I would wake up and I'd do something called bowl of nails. I had 2 stacks of cards. One had problems. So like world hunger, big problems, or smaller problems like traffic, or, like brushing my teeth takes too long. And then the other stack had solutions. So it'd be like an app, or it's a website, or it's a group or club. So then you get this mixture. So it'd say like, okay, you have to brush your teeth. Brushing your teeth takes too long. How do you start an app around that, for example? And then I'd have to come up with ideas in that mixture of that problem solution set. Oh, you could write videos. You can make videos that make it seem like it goes faster, or it's like a fun thing, or, you compete against friends. It's an app that does X and Y. And it just like gets the brain going in order to think in ideas. And then once you get really good at that ideation skill, which I think is one of the most important skills, especially for a founder, because in the beginning you use the ideation skill to think of 100, thousands of different business ideas. Like Mr. Beast talks about writing down 10,000 different video ideas. It's the same thing with starting companies. You want to write down as many ideas as possible, right? It's just about getting super good at the idea muscle. Then when you start a company and you have a single idea or a single focus, now you can use that ideation skill around everything, right? Now that ideation skill you can do for marketing ideas, product ideas, team ideas, dynamic ideas, compensation, whatever, pricing. The ideation muscle then is just applied and funneled and focused in a new way. So one big thing, get really good at a couple skills. For me, I wanted to develop ideation. If you're not an idea person, that's okay. Or if you think of ideas a different way, some people like ideas through like data, or they want to see like, oh, what's the TAM or the problem? There's a million ways to come to decisions. I think with the rise of AI doesn't mean ideas are no longer valuable. I think that's a big mistake that a lot of people are thinking is, oh yeah, what's 10 ideas, Chat GPT? And they're no longer flexing that muscle, because guess what? If you can't think for yourself or generate your own autonomy and decisions, you're in trouble, especially being early in your career. Leaning on AI as a crutch for these sort of things, you're not going to get the right gut. You're not going to get the right intuition. Think deeper about it. Bigger things will happen for you. Second thing, failure. So I did this in a lot of different microcosms. I got out there. I think a big thing is people are afraid to get out there now. I think when you're young, you just have a hall pass. I think you always have the hall pass, but when you're young, you really feel it. Like you could walk up to anyone and just be like, hey, how's it going? And that's what I did. I would literally just go up to, like, when I was a freshman in the dining hall, I just went up to the basketball team. Hey, how's it going? I'm Adam. How do you dunk a basketball? I'd like to learn how to do that. Just like put yourself out there, put yourself in these situations. There's so many people I met, connections that happened from doing that led into bigger opportunities, that led into life-changing experiences. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. It's really such low risk, and people really don't care. I think especially like if you're in college, the level of caring is like maybe the lowest it'll be, for like social, like whatever, fear or things like that. Like go to the entrepreneurship club, like go talk to the person. Like if you have an idea, like go to that club, like just do the thing. So a big thing is just like taking action on your ideas and interests is probably the most important thing in life. And the reason why is if I've always wanted to learn how to play guitar, and then I wait 10 years before I pick up a guitar, at first that was 10 years wasted. But then I might find out, oh, I actually don't like the guitar. Oh, I actually want to play piano. And then I find out piano is a thing. Usually the first layer of interest is just an indicator of the second layer, right? But like, if you don't go through that maze and you don't test things and go through it, you're in trouble. And college is the perfect time to do that. So whatever your interests are, and no matter how weird or obscure they are, I mean, this is like the whole Steve Jobs thing, right? Like you can't connect the dots looking forward, like follow your interests, they'll make sense, turning around. For example, I was a baseball announcer in college. What the heck? That helps with doing something like this. Being comfortable talking into a microphone, being able to use my voice, like things like that. I wouldn't have thought like, oh, I'm going to make this freaking video, I'm going to make videos, whatever. You just don't know. So just go with the interest, do it. It'll make sense later. So following that failure thread, so I would do a lot of startup weekends. If you have startup weekends, do them. If we actually we would travel to other schools. I went to Humboldt. It's an amazing place. So we would travel to other schools, like in like Chico or like, whatever. And we just do them. And that is like maybe one of the best simulators of a startup company, where you kind of just like hustle, you got to like figure this business model out, you got to put it together, this presentation, talk to customers, and then present it. It's like maybe more theatrical. Like my day-to-day is nothing like that, right? It's maybe equal intensity on a lot of days, to be honest. But that it's like really jam-packed, and you just get an idea. If you hate it and you walk away, that was a terrible weekend, probably don't want to do startups. And then you don't have to watch videos like this anymore and live your life well and live a long, happy life. And I hope the best for you. But if you, at the end of that weekend, you're like, that sucked and I loved it. Oh yeah, you're onto something. You might have the bug. I'm sorry, my friend. You can't just go work for Google and live a happy life. You're gonna struggle, but it might be worth it. Maybe, I'm not sure. Anyway, do that. A big thing also, do clubs. Like I did the entrepreneurship club, really big. Did too many clubs to be honest, but I did entrepreneurship club and I found my people there, like people who also were interested in business and startups. I was doing this in Humboldt where there's like no one, right? Like the type of entrepreneurship there is like starting a cafe, or like a lumber yard, like people weren't building tech startups there. So I was in the wrong area, which I inevitably had to leave, but like it's pretty insightful. Just like being around other people who are interested in business, like which led to cool experiences, like getting to like befriend the mayor or like meet all these other entrepreneurs in the city that ran all these businesses. It's just a cool experience. So definitely join Entrepreneurship Club if you have any interest. At least go to a meeting, see if you like it. If the vibe isn't right, maybe you make one friend from it and just connect with them. But you definitely need to surround yourself with people who think about startups, who like entrepreneurship, etc. That is the quickest way to speed up learning. Like you don't need to find your technical CTO, like your co-founder, which would be cool if you did. And I literally was so ridiculous. Like I'd be at the airport, I'd see someone coding, I'd go up and talk to him, be like, hey, do you code? Like, what's up? I'm Adam. I like to like do stuff. And I literally have people's phone numbers still on my phone from like someone I met like freaking, 9 years ago at an airport. And I'll just like text them and be like, yo, what's up? You still coding? Like shit like that. But they're not, like, or they are, like just put yourself out there to do that and to find people who are interested in what you're interested in. And don't be afraid to make that intro. Okay, so third thing, just be building projects. I think at this point with AI, like you could build a lot of things pretty easy. At the very least, and this is what I did, was just get good at like wireframe and product design. I had a friend who was an artist, photographer, videographer. I had him teach me just the Adobe Suite. And then he's like, I'm going to teach you how to fish, because I asked him one too many times to help me build something. Taught me how to fish. I learned how to build product in Adobe Illustrator. I sound like a freaking caveman now, which is crazy because that wasn't long ago. But, like people use Sketch and now Figma. I'm sure Figma is going to be outdated in X years, whatever. But, get in Figma, use pen and papers, look at products, like copy products by hand, like recreate LinkedIn by hand, recreate TikTok by hand, learn how products fit together, how they feel, start to get an intuition around these things, look at good products, take screenshots, copy landing pages, write landing page copy, go through all of those things. Just start to see what you like, what your skills are drawn towards. Do you like writing more? Do you like design more? Do you want to be an engineer? Do you want to build a product? Like what part of it are you really passionate about? The ideas, the big vision, the day-to-day execution, the building of the team, what part really excites you, and just continue fine-tuning that. Like I'd take jobs, like took a job helping someone with a book. Like I found an amazing person, like an amazing mentor. I just wanted to work with him, to be honest. I didn't really care about the project, but he had a project where he was writing a book. So I helped him. I literally did research for the book. I wasn't qualified for that, but I did research for the book. I helped with like the layout of the book, the marketing of the book, like how to actually get distribution. Like it was just super insightful. And just look for those sort of opportunities and then see what parts in those projects, what you really liked. Like I liked the marketing aspect. So I tended to be geared more towards marketing. I also like the design and layout. So I went more into product design. I didn't really ever get into engineering at that point. I regret that I didn't. I had tried casually a couple times, like Code Academy. It's not going to work. Like if you're going to learn how to be an engineer, you got to go full into that. You can't just casually learn it like an hour on the weekend, like decide if it's something you want to do and then, pay for a boot camp or do the thing right, Anyway, put yourself in those sort of situations and then ship products is the main thing. There's someone who I talk to once a month, a really awesome, like rising star. And then they had a project they were going to ship, but they decided not to because some competitor did the same thing, or, like the market wasn't right. You have to go through the rep of hitting publish and post in the thing. At this age, that's what's more important than actually freaking getting customers or having a strategic or a competitive advantage. You're not going to have any, likely. Like, you're probably not building, like, depending on how far you are in your journey, like, you probably don't have a world-changing insight yet. You're still finding out what your skills are, what your tools are. So, like, hit publish and just go through the rep of idea to execution, idea to execution, idea to execution. Just keep doing that. It might take, hundreds of cycles of doing that before you actually get the thing that blows up how you want it to. So don't be afraid to hit publish. Hit publish more. In fact, hit publish as often as you can. I mean, ship as often as you can. Now that, stuff's so much easier to build. Just like ship. Always just be shipping something. If that's a tweet, TikTok, Instagram reel, newsletter, product, landing page, it doesn't matter. Just ship, just publish as much as you can. You have more free time and you have a ton of creativity and energy. Use all of it now and find people who inspire you to do more of that. And then other thing is just good information, right? Like, find people, mentors, find mentors in your life. I think that's super important. Go into your professor's office hours. I had a couple of professors. I made a really good friend because one day I went to my professor's office hours and just like was like, he inspired me, and I just like told him that. I was like, he started a company. I was like, I really want to start a company. This is who I am. This is what I'm about. And we just really connected. And then he just gave me a ton of great advice throughout the years. This huge asset. Just have the courage to get into that office. Like maybe you have 500 people in your class, maybe you have 50. It doesn't matter. Just go for it. They get paid to be there and they like it too. If you give them excitement and passion, that's why they're there, So find people who are inspiring to you that you want to be mentors and actually like make the effort to make it happen. I also have mentors at a distance too, which is important, via podcast, via whatever, the news, anything's possible. Anyway, my throat's gone. This was just passionate rant, but I hope that's helpful. The main thing for you is like, you have so much time. Don't be like me where you think you're going to have a unicorn exit by the time you're 23. That's not really how it works. Maybe it happens. Don't sell yourself short, but give yourself time. It takes decades for a lot of people, but just keep pushing, keep going for it. So put yourself out there, ship a lot, find the right mentors, people to help shape your talent, follow your passions and interests into it. Not like follow like your passion, but like follow the line of your interest and it'll lead you to an interesting place. Well, I guess that's time. I'm so excited for you. Just go for it. Let me know if you have any questions. And yeah, until next time, my friend.